Hello everyone. So now the second format that we are doing is email. And so what is the general understanding if I'm asking you what is an email? Everybody is talking about I'll send you an email, I received an email, people are working through emails, business firms are receiving email as confirmation letters. So email is nothing but electronic mail. Email, people prefer to use email these days in this age of technology because it's cost effective, it is very cheap, and most important, it saves your time. In earlier times, people had to wait for 3 4 working days before they could receive an email, a letter, or send a letter. But now things are very easy, so people have chosen to use this medium of communication more than letters. Of course, people still, there are still people who send and receive e-letters, but this is very easy, it saves your time. So again, the same thing, it carries 5 to 8 marks, and the word limit is 120 words. So do not get confused if you find a question, if you find an email carrying 4 marks in your exams, 5 marks, 6 marks, 7 marks, 8 marks, sometimes 10 marks also. So that's absolutely fine. Just stick to whatever was taught in the class, stick to the word limit, and rest will be taken care of. Okay? So I have just made a box so that it will be easier for me to explain, as in how does the format go. So if you want to practice this and write your emails in a box, it's absolutely fine. So everything is on left again. I have written it here also. So the first thing that you write is from sender's email ID. So sender is you, the person who's sending this email. So email ID, if in case if you don't want to share your email address, which is absolutely fine, you can just write abc@gmail.com or anything, any email address, doesn't matter, right? We are just this is just to have an idea. The objective is to see whether you understand it or not, or whether you know how to follow it. This is a little complicated, so please try to remember things stepwise. And then comes 2, recipient's email address ID. That means recipients means receiver, the person you are sending this email address, this email to. The third, so you can write, say for example, you can write xyz at let's say hotmail.com. So this is a person you are sending this email address to. Say for example, you want to send this email address to more than one people. You want to send it to many. You can do that. You must have done that in your computer class also. So you can do that. It's very simple. You put CC. So in CC, what you do, CC says other individuals receiving the email with visible ID. So say for example, if you are sending this email to xyz@hotmail.com and you want to send it to other people also. So let's say for example 123@yahoo.com, and what can I say, 456@gmail.com. So the glitch here is that these people, xyz@hotmail.com, he can see that you have sent this email to 123 also, and you have sent this email to 456@gmail.com, because these are visible IDs. Visible means something that you can see. Okay. But in case if you do not want XYZ to see how many other people receive this address, receive this email, you can just put 123@yahoo.com and 456@gmail.com in BCC column. When you put in BCC, what happens? That means that the other individuals are also receiving the same email address, but the ID will be invisible. XYZ, the receiver cannot see, the primary receiver cannot see whom did you send these emails to. But if you want XYZ, if you want the primary receiver to see who all did receive this email address, you can just put it here. This is just good to know information. Don't get confused. All right. These things, you don't have to follow these things when you are writing the email. In case if the question says, send this email to XYZ and 123 and 456, then you put it here. But usually that doesn't happen. This is just to explain things, as in how does an email go. Subject. Subject means title or the reason of the writing, of writing the email. So the receiver has to know why did you send this. Say for example it's a work related, because it's a formal email. So you're placing an order, you're canceling an order. It's a letter of complaint, so it's an email of complaint. It's a complaint email. You can write everything here. Okay. And then salutation. Salutation, you can either start with dear, it's absolutely fine in formal language, and or you can write respected, but no comma. Remember that. I don't want any commas anywhere. We don't use commas. If you write a comma, half a mark is gone. Remember that. So now we are coming to the main points. Your word limit starts from here. So main body, again the same formula that we use for writing. Introduction, you need to tell me what are you talking about. Body is the main points, and then conclusion is the end. So once you finish this email, your closing ending statement, so you can write regards. Let's just keep it simple, but no comma. Don't put a comma. In case if you have any attachments, say for example you want to send a PDF file, say for example you want to send something else with email ID, you can put it here. But when you're writing it, because you're doing something practically, you can just write attachments, that's fine. Signature, and then you have the signature. So this is your name. The only difference between a formal letter and a formal email is that in formal letters we used to write the sender's complete address, complete name, but here you are going to write your first name only. And then you can write other details of contact. In case if the question says there is the phone number is giving, the sender's phone number is given, you can write that. But normally in signature you can just write your first name only. So take 2 questions from your practice material and then write it down either in a copy or on the practice material. Take a photo shot and upload it on the Google Classroom. Both the diary entry and formal email, let's say for example by 25th of April. Okay, so these are the 2 formats that we are doing today. Okay, thank you.